apps can do. Welcome to the Bright Lights Podcast, presented by Clovercrest Media Group.
Yeah, the Bright Lights Podcast is back. Joe Aguirre and Jamar Smith. All right, Mars, it's been a hot minute, but here we are just in time for the WNBA playoffs. Before we get there, let's talk about the MVP voting.
Oh man.
There are some people who don't understand or maybe weren't watching enough of the season why the Aces A'ja Wilson, tell them why she is the most valuable player of the WNBA and not the great Caitlin Clark.
Oh man, I mean, congratulations to both. First and foremost, amazing season from both of these players. But A'ja Wilson is just Miss Do It All. You know, she averaged 26.9 points, 11.9 rebounds, basically 27 and 12. Two-time defending champion, Las Vegas Aces. They're healthy. She's the catalyst for her team. She runs her team, the nucleus, and she makes them go. As A'ja goes, she goes. They have an amazing, talented team. But as A'ja goes, she goes. And, you know, she scored 1,000 points in a season, man. Who scores 1,000 points in a season? You know, you gotta give a kudos to that, man. Because, you know, like a lot of players would be grateful just to be 1,000-point scorer, like in high school and college, you know. But to do it at the highest level in only 40 games, you got to commend that. And that's why A'ja Wilson is the two-time WNBA MVP.
Yeah, so, very impressive. And now listen, you know, Caitlin Clark will probably win Rookie of the Year. I mean, she's had a great season. No disrespect to her. Obviously, she's done great things for this league. Now, before we move on to the games from yesterday in preview, I saw something earlier today. I love Angel Reese. I think she's great. She's a baller, too.
Yes, absolutely.
She got a fourth-place MVP vote, and somebody commented, whoever cast that ballot should never be allowed to vote again. She's not even the MVP of her own team. Again, a great player and a player who we're going to be talking about for a long time, but she was not the MVP of this season.
No, I mean, I call her the double-double queen. I mean, she averaged 13 points, 13 rebounds. I think it was during the August game versus the Sparks. She broke her wrist, so she didn't end up finishing the full season. You know, so that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't say, you know, have her on the MVP ballots yet. But, you know, I can understand why with the talent retrospect, because her and Caitlin came in and changed the game. And, you know, a lot of people didn't expect Angel Reese, like the type of game that she has, for her to be able to come in and instantly dominate, you know, and on a consistent basis. And I mean, would I don't know, you know, like that's something I don't know. It's kind of like a moment that I don't know. I'm either going to be like, yeah, I'm either going to be like, no, but I'm just like, I mean, she put in a lot of work this season, though, Joe, bro.
Like, oh, yeah. Listen, I think Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark have been amazing for this league.
Absolutely.
And just like, you know, with the Olympic team, both of them got left off and people got upset. And it's like, oh,
but the
I don't know if you know, with the ladies that are on that team haven't lost a game in like 40 years. The girls that are on that team have earned their way on that team for years. You'll eventually get on there, Caitlin and Angel. But I think what they've done for the league bars is so great. It is so, and listen, no one's putting them in the same category, but what Magic and Larry did for the NBA, these ladies are doing for the WNBA.
Doing it for the
you got to give them their kudos for that.
And that's a great point. With both of them being all-stars, and the WNBA All-Stars had to play the USA team, which the WNBA All-Stars came out with a W over the USA team. You know, it was kind of like people were saying payback, but I was like, no, just to see the amount of talent that's together, you know, and you know, it's just to see the growth of the game, and on top of that, the WNBA just awarded Portland, Oregon a franchise. They awarded Toronto, Canada a franchise, and Golden State a franchise. So it's grown to 15 teams, and I'm loving to see that because you're going to see more of a talent base and a talent scale, like throughout the WNBA. I thought this season was awesome, personally.
Yeah, listen, I think most people did, Mars. There's a lot of people who were never into women's basketball who are big.
Yeah,
And I think for a lot of people, beyond just Caitlin Clark and beyond Angel Reese, they're learning about people like Asia Wilson and some of the great talent all throughout this league on all the different teams.
yeah.
It's
The
been great
Kelsey,
for everybody.
yeah, the Kelsey Plums. I would say the Leah Edwards. You got the Lena Del Dons, which is not playing this year, but she's an awesome player. The Jewel Lloyds from Seattle, and it's a lot of other great talented players that's going to come up as well, and our players as well. You got Alyssa Thomas, got Dewana Bonner, you got Brianna Jones, Dejanay Carrington. Like, oh, we got some ballers too, and just the growth of women's basketball. Like I could say I'm absolutely proud of that.
Well, you know what? Then why don't we start? We'll preview. The playoffs started yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the Yukon Sun. They played the Fever and won handily 93-69. They're up 1-0 in the series. Talk about the game, Mars.
I mean, they blew them out. It was a close game. I got to watch a little bit of the game mixed with a little bit of football. So, they were up by 8, and then next thing you know, I turned it back on. They were up by 20. And Marina Mabry, she was a late acquired trade from the Chicago Sky. She had 27 points last night, 3 rebounds. She shot 5 from 12 from the 3-point line, and she's a scorer, man. She went to Notre Dame, and that was a great addition for the Sun. She lit it up, man. And also Dewana Bonner, I love her game, and I actually met her one day while I was at work and got an autograph from my oldest for her. She had 22 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and Brianna Jones, the rock in the middle, I would say. I mean, she played great defense, only had 4 points, but she shut down the middle. And Alyssa Thomas with a big triple-double, 12 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds. And the Sun went on a run, and that crowd was rocking, man. That crowd at Mohegan was rocking. And for the Fever, of course, you had Caitlin Clark, only 11 points, 8 assists. Kelsey Mitchell had a strong game. She's a great guard out of Ohio State. She had 21 points and 3 rebounds. Off the bench, Damaris Dantas out of Brazil had 12 points, 6'3" forward. She's amazing. Like, she's a very, very, she reminds me of like the female Dennis Rodman. She's just gutter, boys, just a baller. And Aaliyah Boston, 17 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, number 1 pick out of South Carolina. She played. I can't say she didn't play bad, but you could tell that just it was her first playoff game, per se. So Lexi Hall with 5 points, and Alyssa Smith, she had 0 points, but she played great defense. The Fever, I mean, they fell to the Sun. It was a little bit of a blowout, but I'm looking for them to come back in game 2. But we're looking strong right now, and we're healthy. That's the most important thing. So,
boy, that is certainly key. They'll pick it up on Wednesday night, at Connecticut at 7:30.
Yep, the Mohegan, baby. Be there, be square.
Yeah, things looking good. All right, let's talk about one of the other series, the New York Liberty, a big win over the Dream.
Yeah. They had the New York Liberty 83-69, led by Brianna Stewart, the Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, and Ryan Howard put on a great showing for the Atlanta Dream. We have Las Vegas, the number 4 seed, which is a big surprise, 78, and Seattle over Seattle 67. Both teams are very well. Las Vegas is healthy with Chelsea Grayback. They have Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, and Seattle's a young team but a great team. They have Drew Lloyd, Nika Mule, Aniko Ogwumake, excuse me. And I would really say, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like, of course, I'm gonna pick my son, but I think Las Vegas might have a chance to three-peat. So going into the next bracket, we have number 2 Minnesota, which I watched this year. The Lynx, which are led by UConn's Nafisa Collier, had a big win over Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury, 102-95. And I really feel, watch out for Minnesota, man. I mean, if the Connecticut Sun and the Lynx advance, look out for just a clash. Like when I watched this game went into overtime. The first game was won by the Sun. About a week and a half ago, the Lynx won 78-76 over the Connecticut Sun, which was a great game, another classic. And it's like a crash course. It's like a crash course going into the WNBA Finals, man. I'm looking forward to the core of the teams to make it, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody slips through. You know, like if I had to pick, maybe Phoenix. You know, they have a great team in Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi. So, you know, game two, well, all the game twos will be tomorrow. And I'm looking forward, and we're gonna be definitely keeping you posted throughout this WNBA playoffs. So,
Game 2, Lynx Mercury is going to be on Wednesday night.
yes,
Dream Liberty, where obviously New York is up 1-0. That is
1-0
tomorrow night. That's Tuesday
tomorrow
night,
night. Yep,
7:30. And then Aces and the Storm, obviously Las Vegas up 1-0 in that series. Game 2 there
absolutely.
tomorrow night at 9:30. Let's talk about them Aces.
Oh man, two-time defending WNBA champ. Like I said, led by the two-time WA MVP, Asia Wilson. Their starting five is golden, man, and they have some key players like Kate Mark, and they have the Jackie Youngs. They have the Tiffany Hayes, which she retired from the Sun and then signed back on with the Aces, and they're healthy at the right time. So it's a very strong team, But I'm not underestimating Seattle, like at all. Like Seattle, they have Mercedes Russell as well, the 6'6" post, and they have Drew Lloyd, which I think is one of the best guards in the WNBA as well. So I'm looking forward to that game. It's West Coast time, so I'm praying that I can catch a little bit of it. And no, that's gonna be another classic. Who I would pick? I'm gonna pick the Aces. It's gonna be a close game. I pick the Aces. 5 points and to win the series 2-0 because it's a best of 3 game series. So
Yeah, look, this is two of the higher scoring offenses in the league, 86 and 83 points per game. Both teams shoot better than 43%. So you're
yeah,
going to see a lot of scoring. You're going to see some very nice looking basketball.
yeah, and fast paced basketball as well because the Aces, they've been playing together for about 3 years, like in WNBA. In that time set, it's like 20 years in real life, So they had a lot of cohesion together, and I'm looking forward to them to run the floor. So, that's it's gonna be a classic. It's gonna be a classic. So I don't know. Let's talk about New York versus Atlanta. I mean, New York finished with a 32-8 record this year. Atlanta, the AC, they squeaked in. And Atlanta's a relatively young team, but they got a little bit of firepower. They have the all-time UConn great Tina Charles, and I say the Liberty are loaded, man. Oh gosh, just wow, just 6'6" Jonquel Jones, 6'5" Brianna Stewart, Benicia Lanley. She's about 6 feet small forward, double-figure scorer. Um, they got Courtney Vandersloot, one of the greatest WNBA point guards of all time, and then Sabrina Ionescu. I've been watching her since she went to Oregon, man, and she's a runner, man, and she was under Kobe Bryant's tutelage, and she's great, man. They have a great starting five. No disrespect to Atlanta, I'm looking for New York to get the heavy blowout and sweep this series 2-0. And I mean, you got to give it up to Atlanta for making it this far, though. So, I mean, I'm picking the Liberty to sweep 2-0, and I'm looking for them to win about. I give them 15-point win tonight.
Yeah, Vegas
me.
says 12.5 for the Liberty. And when I say Vegas, I don't mean the Aces. I mean the casino.
Oh, man. Gosh, 15. I was close, though. I called it by 12.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't take them out by even more than 12.
Yeah,
so,
you don't know if they're going to cover the spread or not, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know, I'm curious, and I'm going to have to look this up.
Yes.
I want to know what kind of betting there is on women's basketball. I would imagine it's probably pretty impressive.
You know what? That's a great topic, too. I was looking on DraftKings one day, and I seen that they had parlays for the WNBA games. So, excuse me. I thought that was cool. I thought that was like, wow. You know, like, people are really paying attention to the WNBA game. I mean, it's not saying, oh, go gamble, you know, but I'm just saying, like, they're giving options to bet on WNBA games, and shows, like I said, it shows the growth, man. And
I mean, they're playing, and if you like to bet, why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean? Why not?
I know, right? Yeah, like, they play in a casino out of all places.
All right, so I'll tell you, here's what we're going to do.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, games are Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, any game threes if necessary. We will rendezvous back here Friday night.
Yes.
If necessary, we will preview the game threes.
Mm-hmm.
If there are no game threes, we will
preview the next round.
Preview the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm totally for that. And tune in, man. We're gonna call this Fall Fever. WNBA Playoffs, Fall Fever. By the bright lights. And we also got some more things coming, some more topics. We're gonna have the UConn preview. We're going to have the CIAC Top 25 Volume 2, where a lot of changes, a lot of players transferred to prep schools. So it's pretty interesting on where we're going to see who's in the top 25 now. So, along with, so much more, where we just want to showcase our love for women's basketball, on all levels and all accounts. So, look forward to Friday night. Joe, Jamar, the bright lights, baby.
The Bright Lights CT1 is where you could find us on social media. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do all that. As I said, we will be back here on Friday night. Again, we'll either preview the games for that night or we'll preview the next round of the playoffs. So very exciting stuff so far. Glad the Bright Lights shining once again, Mars. We'll be back on Friday with the Bright Lights Podcast. It's Joe and Mars.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Bright Lights Podcast, presented by Clovercrest Media Group.